Okay, as soon as I see it go, it's always like YouTube takes a second to think. Ta-da! Yay, we're live.
Are we doing things?
We're doing things. I don't know if you're watching on
Oh
YouTube
boy,
as well, but don't.
I'm not.
Because there's a
I'm not.
delay and the delay is confusing.
Oh no, that sounds upsetting.
So I have
No,
it
I
like
can't see anything but this streaming thing that we have here.
we're it's like over there. Okay, Drew. First of all,
Hi.
thank you so much for agreeing to join me in this wild adventure that I'm doing.
There was not even a
I was
little tiny nugget of hesitation.
a creamy nugget or even like a desiccated nugget.
Not. Oh no, not at all. Not even like the little nugget balls at the bottom of the nugget container.
Nugget
Nothing.
balls. Oh, I'm so glad. I was so nervous when I asked you because I I was just so excited. I was like, "Oh, oh, maybe." And I'm still
I would,
nervous. And
I would do
that's
this every day, Aziza.
I mean, we're pretty cool as
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah.
And we have so much in common. First of all, you have a donut, which we're going to talk about in a second. Chat, thank you all so much for being here. Um, this series that I wanted to do is Gourmet Pens and Friends. So I'm the Gourmet Pens of the portion, and here is Friends. And so today we have Drew Brown. And for those of you who don't know, Drew is awesome. And I'd like to think that I'm also relatively awesome. And this just seemed
You
really
are.
fun. Yeah,
You are.
we're pretty
I
cool.
base all of my awesomeness on you.
Yeah, so there's a scale, and I
Yeah.
am like the face. So
Yes.
you're also the face. So thank you all so much for coming here and being here. Um, I really just wanted us to have fun. And when we were in like the green room, not live, Drew was making coffee and a donut. So first of all, Drew, please tell us about your donut.
Well, I already had my nighttime coffee. It's 10 p.m. here in the Eastern U.S. time zone, and I already had my nighttime coffee, of which I have daily. But then my wife, who was at a show, came back and said, "Hey, we stopped off for donuts. I got you one for your coffee." And I was like, "I already had my coffee, but now I have a donut, so I'm gonna have second coffee." So
There's no
that's what I'm doing.
alternative.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you
You're just
had
gonna eat
to.
this thing plain. But she got me a plain donut because this is my favorite because the plain donut goes well with coffee. So I can't not have coffee with a plain donut.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's a little too dry if it's just
Hmm.
plain, because if it's got no glaze and you have no coffee, it's a bit too dry.
Bite the donut, sip the coffee. Bite the donut,
Oh,
sip the
that
coffee.
is so beautiful. Oh
Oh,
my
it is.
gosh.
Mwah. Beautiful thing.
Okay, so and is this caffeinated coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, no big deal. Who needs to sleep?
I have that special, delightful, wonderful ADHD that like doesn't have
Ah,
coffee affect me.
oh, so it actually calms you
It either calms me or doesn't do anything.
or
Yeah,
doesn't
but
do
yeah.
anything.
Yeah. I don't really I have a cup of coffee every night before bed and I'm lights out as soon as I hit the pillow.
This
If I have
okay,
if I
this
have like
blows my mind.
if I have like 4 cups of coffee, then I there's some difficulty, but yeah.
I'm impressed.
No.
I
It's
mean,
it's, it's I just like the warm beverage vibe at night. It's
okay.
just like we put the kid to bed, we watch a show, right now we're rewatching Game of Thrones again, and then I have my coffee, and then Shannon goes up to bed, and then I play video games until I fall asleep, and then I drag myself upstairs to go to bed.
Okay, this
Every
is
night.
so exciting. This is so okay. Okay. Oh my god. Okay, I'm so excited. I have like 30 questions in my head. I also probably have ADHD, but because it's like all the things I'm like, keep your mouth shut, don't interrupt, because as you say
I
the
always have
things,
to do that.
you're like triggering the thoughts in my head. So we have a question. Do you dunk your donut?
No, no, that is too risky because if something comes off in the cup, you have this little soggy nugget of misery hanging and waiting for you, and that's your
Mm-hmm.
last. Instead of the last sip of coffee being a delightful little magical sayonara, it's
Yeah.
a miserable, offensive attack. and you forget about it sometimes too. You forget
Yeah.
that bit fell off, and so you're like, my final sip. And you have that soggy plop in your mouth, and no,
I love this
dunking
donut sludge. Thank you, John. Donut sludge.
dunking is risky. I mean, if you're a thrill seeker, then you go right ahead and dunk. But Drew Brown is not.
I don't dunk either. Like Oreos and milk, don't dunk. I'm a purist. I like my ingredients clean and crisp.
I'm more okay with Oreos and milk because the plop factor is decreased.
Yes.
It's a more solid, cohesive unit there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
cookies and donuts,
they disintegrate too fast.
Things get weird.
They get too excited in the liquid, and they're like, "Bye."
That's exactly right.
Bye. Okay, we have a question from Carol. Drew, how are you?
Hello, Carol. I know Carol. How are you, Carol? I'm great. I'm at the end of the week. I'm ready for the weekend. And yes, this is how I'm starting it with Aziza.
This is
and
amazing.
You.
What an awesome start to a weekend.
Yeah, I know. And I don't think I have anything to do. Oh, wait, I need to finish this costume. I need to finish Archer's costume.
Yeah, that is one of my many questions.
Yeah, I need to work on the costume because he's got trunk or treat on Thursday, so I got to do that. And then I got to put some floor mats in the car that I ordered, so they're just sitting right there in the box.
Did you say trunk or treat?
Yeah, it's like a thing they do at his after-school program where, like, parents or teachers, I don't know who's supposed to do it. Hopefully not me, but it's a pretty common thing for like a lot of churches do it, schools do it. So they, people drive up, park in the parking lot or like the bus loop or whatever, and they open up their trunks and they decorate their trunk of their car. Like they can make it look like a mouth. They can make it themed, like, I'm doing a Wizard of Oz theme, or I'm doing a Friday the 13th theme. And then they just go to all the cars and they trick or treat in the parking lot to all these decorated trunks. And it's a good way
amazing.
It's a good way to get kids the whole trick or treating experience, but not actually walking up to people's houses if they don't live in a suburb or something like that.
Yeah.
Or they just don't want to knock on doors because people don't do that anymore. We do both. We give him all the candy.
I am blown away. This is like tailgating, but better.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. So he'll do like a trunk or treat at school, and then on the actual Halloween, we'll do our neighborhood. We've got a pretty good trick or treating neighborhood. Blythe, I don't have the whole costume, but this is the helmet I made. Archer wants to be a Mandalorian, so not the Mandalorian, but a Mandalorian. So I made this from plans I got on Etsy. It's made out of just foam, so it's kind of squishy, but it's solid. I bought a replacement welding sheet. Like
I am blown away by this.
So yeah, this is like what you put on your welding mask if you need a new one. So I cut it out and put it in here. It's very dark. He's not going to be able to see on Halloween, but he can see inside. So I don't know. Last year I made him a helmet and he just kind of carried it around. But yeah, he asked for vents, so I made little vents.
Because the Mandalorian is not supposed to take the helmet off.
Well, any Mandalorian's not. Well, if you're like one of the hardcore zealous Mandalorians, yeah. Obviously, he doesn't subscribe to that. He's not a radical Mandalorian, but he chose the colors and everything. So all we need to do this weekend is weather it. So we just kind of get some paint, rub it on there, then wipe it off so it only stays in the corners and the crevasses.
That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we did it with his little gauntlet here. I don't know if you can see, but there's little like dark spots in there. So we weathered that so it looks a little dingy.
It's like when people age paper with like tea and coffee and stuff.
Yeah,
like to make
so that
it look
way
antique.
That way it doesn't look fresh, because. And also he wanted one of his gauntlets to have modular weapon attachments. So my
gosh.
I 3D printed this like blade attachment thing, and there's a rare earth magnet here, so you just kind of attach it here, and now you've got a gauntlet with the little bladey thing.
Okay.
And we got this
I feel like
blaster
I need to
thing.
commission you to make things.
So that goes on there too.
So he can swap out his weaponry.
We got the Boba Fett classic rocket launcher there, and this little flamethrower looking thing. But yeah, they all stick to it. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with all these when he's not using them. I had grand plans to have like them all attached to his belt or something. That's not going to work out, but I think I'll carrying him around myself. But
this is so cool. Have you made an egg with Grogu in it?
no, he's not the Mandalorian, as he's a Mandalorian. This is
yeah, but maybe he's babysitting. All right, because Grogu needs babysitting. He's a little stinker.
He has like 3 Grogu plushes, so yeah, he'd be fine if he wanted to babysit. He could. He's got enough props.
That is so cool. You need to be Grogu.
No, I'm gonna be. I've got other stuff for us. Shannon and I are going as retro futuristic space rangers. So I've got kind of just generic space helmets for us. I've got some like old school kind of Reagan looking blasters that have been 3D printed for me, and big white boots for me, big silver boots for her. And I made like foam, kind of like crusty shoulder pads that look retro.
Yeah.
I found these cool logos to 3D print too. So I just wanted like a kind of generic, kind of old school space rangery logo. So I got this like rocket wing thing on there. So I'm gonna put that on her boots and one on my belt. So yeah. I'm spending way too much time on it.
No. Absolutely. You are honing skills. Whether you think you are or not, you are.
No, I have not always been crafty. This is just a rabbit hole thing, and I can't. Yeah, I either am completely ambivalent on a topic, or I'm completely obsessed and have very strong opinions on a topic, and this is just one of those things.
Yeah. Okay. This is beautiful. Yeah. What other topics? What other things get your attention like this?
I mean, pretty much anything nerdy. I'm very curious. Like if I spend enough time listening to anything, even if it's something I have no interest in, like football, if you give me like enough interesting data on something, I'm logged in. Like I'm like, okay, even if I don't go and research it afterwards, like in that moment, I'm like, yeah. Tell me more, But it was an interesting thing. Like this happened a couple of years ago. I was talking to an electrician doing some work, and he just started talking about how he collected coins. I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? And he's like, well, like this one. He shows me this pirate coin it was like a sea salvaged Spanish real from 1674. I'm like, oh, and he just let me hold it. I'm like, wait, this is from 1674? He's like, yeah, it's no big deal. I'm like, I'm touching something. I'm holding something from 1670. It just melted my brain. And
I didn't even know that was a thing.
No, I didn't either. I'm like, oh, wait, tell me more. What do you mean sea salvage? Like this came from the ocean? He's like, yeah, it was picked up, but it's clean, so it's not really worth anything. It's like $75. I'm like,
I was like, but it is worth something because the curiosity.
So he ended up giving it to me, and that kind of became a catalyst for me buying a bunch of coins, and now I'm kind of into coins.
And then you went on a coin journey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is okay. Yeah. I was not expecting that. That's unusual.
It's like you're touching history, and your brain just like tries to comprehend all the places this thing has been, and now it's with you, and one day it will be with other people, and you will be nothing but one little blip in its long history, and that just wrinkles my brain.
That is so. That's really funny. One of my questions for you was actually, what do you look for, or what do you focus on when you need to see good in the world? And I think your curiosity brings all of that to you, because you just see things that a lot of people dismiss.
That's a great question, and that is the answer. But I would say that the answer is more specifically less curiosity and more finding wonder. Which as we talked, that's one of the superpowers in the kids book we talked about.
I still think you should write them.
We'll see. I mean, but yeah, find wonder in everything. That's like one of my favorite things to say. If you look hard enough and if you focus in on anything,
Yeah.
you can find a sense of wonder that you would easily have missed. Like
Yeah.
absolutely anything, because everything we look at is incredible. Every
Yeah.
person we meet, everything, and that really, if you really drill down on it, it means that you can find it wherever you want. And
Yeah.
I think if you spend enough time on anything, you can kind of just completely log into it and find wonder in it, and then you kind of
Yeah.
log back out, go back to your real world, and you're like, I don't know, yeah, that's nice, that's cool.
I love that. Once your brain is primed to looking for something or looking for wonder, I feel like you almost start seeing it more easily.
Yeah.
Kind of like, what is it?
It makes you more grateful too.
Confirmation bias. Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard it's hard to do that, but
it is, especially when you kind of get thinking too hard and you realize that like I'm insignificant and we're just on a giant floating rock hurtling through space, and
that's what we think.
Right. Well, that like it makes you feel very small, but also when you kind of try to wrap your head around all the vastness and stuff, you also end up feeling very, very, very fortunate just for being here, like having made it to this point in, you know, the universe's history and being a part of it. And then you kind of think about the people you know, and you're like, oh my God, I got to be on the planet at the same time as Aziza. Holy crap.
Yes.
That is awesome.
What
are the odds?
We get so caught up in just like surviving and existing that we forget to look for wonder, look for the good stuff. And it's not because we don't want to see it or we don't want to do it. It's just that we get so caught up in all the other stuff that we forget to pay attention and try to look for things and to make the effort to look out for it. And I mean, that's kind of why I really wanted to do this whole series, was because I was like, okay, we all need good stuff. Everybody needs good stuff, and good stuff doesn't have to just be, oh, I bought a new pen, right? Like that's great. That's always fun. It's unless you buy a pen that sucks, obviously. But like it's just such good. It's such a nice experience. And I think we forget to do this. And like this is very uncomfortable because it talks about feelings, but when we were having dinner and you were saying nice things to me, so we're having dinner, Drew was saying all these nice things. He's like, you have value. And I was sitting there like, okay, my therapist says I have to accept compliment. Like I was dying inside. I was like, okay, it's a good thing I ate 2 hours ago, because if I had just eaten, all of this would be coming up. And then I was like, okay, just accept the compliment. And it's so silly that something like that is such a challenge. But
it is.
I went home like 2 days later at the end of the weekend, and I was like, okay, remember that, because that was such a positive thing. Someone else found wonder in you. I mean, we don't see wonder in ourselves.
No, and I completely understand, because it's absolutely hard for me too. And you know, when I got fired, I was so super low, and I had zero sense of self-worth, and I just thought I was done, baked, cooked, useless, nothing. And it was like you and many people said the things that I needed to hear. And when you have somebody that you respect enough and you trust enough saying something that you absolutely do not believe, your respect and love for them can outweigh, you know, whatever crappy feelings you might be having about yourself.
Like your own self-doubt, right?
Yeah. And that is such a precious, beautiful thing. And that is, you need to when you have people in your life that you do trust and respect that much, that means that they can come to your rescue one day with
Yeah.
those words, and that means that they possess the gravity and the strength to override your, that mean little voice that we all have in our heads telling
Yeah.
us that we're not as good.
Yeah. And especially when something traumatic or shocking
Yeah.
happens,
Yeah.
when you experience a loss of any kind, of course, the human nature and the instinct is to question yourself, blame yourself, even if you're otherwise a confident person, even if you're not anxious, if you're not insecure. When things like that happen, it just triggers all sorts of things in you.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, I hate to see people go through that. But same thing. When I was getting divorced, I guess it was, what is it? What are we, 2024? 5 years ago. I was like, that's it. I'm done. My identity's gone. I'm
Yeah.
nothing. I'm no one.
Uh-huh.
And it was so shocking to me to have people who, I mean, where we were, for all intents and purposes, strangers, uh, internet friends, so people that I spoke to, but um, not not people that I hang out with on the regular, just saying nice things, first of all, which was very uncomfortable, correct? Because it's
Yeah.
like, surely this is a joke, because there is no way this person is placing so much value in
Yes.
me when I am just this little useless thing and I have no value. And so I try to make sure I do the same thing now when I see someone else struggling, because I'm like, nah, don't listen to that voice, because I know
Yep.
better. Because whatever you are seeing in yourself, it's biased. It's like,
Yeah.
it's biased, and your
100%.
bias is wrong.
Yeah. And honestly, like I'm a pretty positive person, as you know, and
Hmm.
a lot of a lot of my own self-improvement and things I've worked on myself have been born out of just making sure I'm not a hypocrite, because I say so many
Yeah.
things to other people about, you know,
Hmm.
taking care of themselves. I say things to my son about, stuff like that. And so many times I catch myself, I'm like, well, crap, now I have to do it. And well, okay, well,
Exactly.
and and I don't want to, and I know that that's the right thing. And I'm like, you just told your son to make sure that, he
Hmm.
never thinks this of himself. I'm like, all right, can't be a hypocrite. Let's do this. And,
Yeah. Like, you
so
have to lead the way, right?
it does help, Yeah, and you can hear your own voice, and sometimes you need to be your own friend. Sometimes you need to
Yeah.
talk to yourself the way you would talk to a friend, because we
Yeah.
find it so much easier to say the things we need to hear to others. But when it comes time to actually say that to ourselves, it's like, nah, not me though.
Isn't that insane? It's like, oh,
It's so different.
everybody else deserves this, but not me. Like,
Yes.
I'm an
No.
exception. I'm special. I
Yeah.
don't deserve good things. I don't deserve respect, or
100%.
I don't deserve to be valued. Like, what an absolutely
It's
insane
so stupid.
concept. It's so
It drives me
stupid.
nuts. Oh, it's
It's
so
like,
dumb.
what? Where did that come from? Why on earth
I
did
know.
did our brains decide to make this? But
But,
I think this is the point of friendship, right? Is to,
yeah.
like, throw that love at your friends and just be like, no. You
Yeah.
ignore that biased little voice, which is I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I said something similar to you. I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah. You
Trust
did.
me, don't listen to yourself.
You did. You did. And enough people said it that, it just, I will never forget, never in my life, the impact that it made, and
Yeah.
and then when it happens to you and you truly are uplifted by friends in that way, you just so desperately want to keep that going and be that for somebody else, or at least I do. I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
just the world needs that. And when you are reminded that it is out there, you want to just keep it going. It's such a precious thing.
Yeah. It, when I had Tori was on 2 weeks ago, and we were talking a lot about grief, because she lost her sister a couple years ago, and
Hey, what's up, T-Hog? Sorry.
That's okay. You have a whole bunch of comments. You're gonna have to go back and look at them.
Okay. I just needed to say T-Hog in real life because Hogtown Pens. I have a nickname.
T-Hog.
Yeah, that's T-Hog.
Hilarious. That's so good.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We were just talking about how it's surprising that, like, she said she was talking about how she would reach out in her grief and was surprised that she was received with so much love. And I mean that breaks my heart because it's like people are grieving and experiencing things, and it doesn't even have to be something as traumatic as losing your sister. All pain is pain. And it's like she was surprised that people loved her and accepted her, and I was like, this should not be something that is unusual. That should be the standard.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and it is good. And you know what? I'd much rather be a fragile and emotional person than, a cold, unfeeling person, and sometimes like, your own insecurities are just a sign that you're thinking about yourself a lot, and that you've got room for improvement. I'd rather be on that end of the spectrum than the other end of the spectrum, not thinking I have anything more to offer. Yeah. Ideally, you'd like a nice balance of self-worth and, introspective thought, but I'd rather go that way than that way.
What is it's a wave, right? Sometimes
it's a wave.
You value yourself more, and sometimes you feel down in the dumps. And it's remember the little path thing I drew? I had drawn just a little like depiction. It's just like your path is all over the place, and people and events and things will come along the way and speckle your path, but it'll also help shape you and guide you. And this sounds so like woo woo. I don't mean it to be. It's just that it just horrifies me that so many people are so like lost, and they feel so alone and sad, and I'm like, this is crazy, because this absolutely should not be the way things are. Yeah. Dragon drawer, yes. Woo woo, like woo, kind of like weird and out there, and what is that? Is woo the right word?
Wishy-washy?
Like woo.
I think I want to say it was James Randi who quoted that, or like he was a famous debunker of magic and stuff like that. So I think he might have come up with that, but woo's a thing.
Yeah. Maria says I associate woo with magical thinking. I mean, it kind of is, but it magical in that it's unrealistic or not attainable. Or just like a fantasy. It's a fantasy world to think like that. But positivity and optimism, I mean, it's so hard to do that. It's really hard to do that if you're struggling. I mean, sometimes you just wake up and have a really bad day. It's not necessarily that something has triggered it or something that has happened. I am not particularly shy about talking about mental health and mental illness.
Yeah.
Like growing up, I love my daddy, but growing up, he grew up in like the rough times, and it was like, what are you depressed about? You're not in a wheelchair, So it's like, that's what I grew up with. And while I respect that, it's also like, okay, but there's different types of pain. There's different types of experiences that shape things. And it's just, I'm like, okay, we need to move past that kind of mindset. So even when people are really mean to me, sometimes I get really mean comments or emails. This is hilarious. When I was first getting divorced, someone emailed me and she was like, I've been married for 25 years. Let me give you some marriage advice on how not to be I don't typically curse on my stream, but she was like, "Here's how to not be bitchy." And
Oh
it's
my
like,
god.
I mean, it's so funny now, but at the time, obviously that's devastating, but it's so funny. And back then I was so upset. And now I can think about something like that and be like, ooh, I feel sorry for you. Like,
Oh my
I'm
god.
sorry. Like, sorry that your life was rough and this is what you think you need to be like,
Oh my god.
But it's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Sorry. So two things. Going back to the previous thing, there was generations and generations who defined trauma as I was in a war and I saw all my friends die. Like
Which
that was
is
trauma.
obviously
In,
traumatic.
yes, definitely trauma. Heavy duty
Yeah.
trauma.
It's
But
like,
like
we're not denying that.
anything less than that was like not trauma, but like
Yeah.
that's slowly being accepted and redefined, and that's great.
Yeah.
And the other thing, golly, that is just horrible and definitely not what you want to say. But yikes. I can't believe someone said that. I can, but also,
I know. It's like I could believe it, and at the same time, it's like, what on
yeah.
earth?
My parents are divorced. My wife's parents are divorced, and we both believe absolutely 100% that should have happened. Like that just it needs to happen.
Yeah. Like
100%.
sometimes, and I mean, if people can make it work, fantastic. But sometimes that's just like things change,
Yeah.
and it's okay that that happens.
Yeah.
I just wanted to highlight this from Maria. Not everyone has the same size plate. And it's true. Like if it's overflowing, it's
Oh,
overflowing. It doesn't really
yeah.
matter what is making it overflow. It's
Hmm.
overflowing, and that's just what it is.
That's
So
really well put.
I don't know how to. There we go. It's so I know I'm all over the place. I'm so appreciative of your insights and your wisdom, and it's like I really just wanted to I just wanted us to be able to highlight good stuff and where we see goodness. And I mean, obviously you're awesome, but obviously we are both awesome. This chat is awesome. The
Yes.
beautiful contributions. It's I know you can't see it, but
I can.
I don't know.
I figured it out.
But
I can hit the chat button.
but it's probably like really tiny for you, right? Um,
It's fine.
it's just really affirming and reassuring to have so many people be like, yes, I have been through something similar. Um, those little wasabi plates,
Yeah.
those tiny little plates, those
And
little itty bitty ones.
yeah, 100%. Well, I think we all have different plates for different things too. Like some
That's a good point.
people, certain types of people with me, like, oh, they get a small plate and they fill that plate up real quick. Other people, nah, they get a big plate. But like, and it all just depends. Like, with any sort of partnership, you might have different plates, and one person gets their plate filled up really quick on a certain thing, and the other person doesn't. And you're like,
Yeah,
well, I'm fine. Or why are you not fine? Because we got
yeah.
different plates.
I really like that. I usually go with the spoon theory, but I really like the plate imagery
Yeah.
because there are different plates. You got dinner plates, tea plates, like little adorable wasabi plates. There's different plates for different things, and that's why we should be like sharing our plates with each other. Our plate real estate.
Yeah.
That should be a whole thing, like a whole theory along with spoon theory. Plate plate real estate. Carol says some people put their leftovers on your plate.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm learning about boundaries right now, and I don't like them. They make me very uncomfortable.
Difficult. They're
very
difficult. But once you get them done, there are few things more mentally healthy than boundaries.
Yeah.
Like they are so protective. They create such safety from a mental health standpoint. They're hard to build, but once you do, they make such a difference.
And also hard to, at least for me, justify to myself that I'm allowed to have boundaries and it's good for me. And it's like, if you look at the plate again, it's like everything's just spilling over the edge and all your boundary is doing is just squeezing it back in. Right? It's like this is as far as the stuff on my plate can go before I can't take it anymore. And
Yeah.
I really like that. That should be like a sticker or like
If
a
only
game.
if only we knew someone who just was a complete sticker addict.
I mean, I can't draw though, so I'm a sticker addict, but I cannot draw. And so that's the issue. Like, oh, look at this, Luke. I tell my 13-year-old daughter, no is a complete sentence. That's very.
Yeah.
Yes, we all need to learn that, myself especially.
Yeah. And also that everybody needs to earn your love, even family members. Nobody gets a free pass to your emotional reservoir. Like
So that is a
nobody,
huge thing.
and that is a huge thing because a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter. They're your family."
Like
Like,
blood is thicker than water, or it's like, yeah, thicker because you have to wade through it more. It's
no,
like it's
family
worse.
members, they can be just as toxic as any
Yeah.
other relationship in your life. A
Yeah.
lot of the times more so.
A lot of times more so because they feel they have the right in some ways to do that.
A lot of the times, family members have like they have if they want to hurt you, they can do it so much easier because it's like they have like a secret passage that leads right into the
Yeah.
middle of your soul. You know,
Because they know
other people they have
right?
to, you know, yeah, yeah, and they're important to you. They matter. They matter.
Yeah.
You know,
And you put so much value in what they say and what they feel about you, and so
yeah.
when they say something that just hits that spot that's sensitive, it's like, ow. Right? It's like, ow, my feelings. Family members.
I would.
Oh, I like this. I gotta look at this. Family members know how to push your buttons because they're the ones who installed them.
Oh, we are getting.
That's really good.
This is solid gold in the chat, y'all.
But that is really good, and I love my mom. Obviously, a child of immigrant, we had a very rough upbringing, but now she's like, we get along so great. You should come live with us again. Like, come live at home. And I'm like, oh, Mom, the reason we get along is because I don't live with you. It's like because I think I would put a pillow over both your and Dad's face very quickly. So that it's like this is why I don't.
It's boundaries.
It's boundaries, and it took a long time for her to learn that. But okay, let me see. Oh, so many lovely things came for the popcorn and stayed, and the chat stay for the philosophy and psychology lessons. Just for the record, I am not a philosopher nor a psychologist. Drew, are you either of those?
I am not.
That's okay.
No.
It's just lived experience, and of course everybody here has lived experience. We just have a platform to ramble to ourselves about it because that's what we're doing. That's the plan, and we wanted to just do it together because it's fun, right? That's what it is.
And it's I love so much that, you know, everybody approaches me when they, you know, say like, you don't know me, but I feel like I know you. I'm like, man, you do know me.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's like I put myself out there.
Yeah, no, I'm an open book. Like what you see is what you get. Like I'm the same dude. Like, and I don't mind that. Everybody's like, oh, I bet this is weird. I'm like, no, this is great. Yes. Half the work's done. Like now I just got to figure out who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
but it's nice because I do like when people do that because I don't find it weird. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like,
no.
So you already
I've never
me and you still like me because I'm weird.
Yeah, it's like great.
And
that's yes, no, it's like that makes one of us who likes me.
Exactly, it's like great. That's a starting point. Oh, that's funny.
It's like oh, okay, so you don't want to punch me in the face every time you see me because whenever I see me, I definitely want to do that. I'm like, my God, that guy's face is so punchable.
That cracks me up. I mean, many years ago when I was fairly new to like YouTube and everything, I made the error of Googling myself because I was just curious. I was like, what is out there about me? Anyway, I ended up in Reddit. There was a whole Reddit thread about at the time I was doing what was the thing called? Serious Image with Steven.
Yeah, of
And
course.
it was just so funny because people had like gone into my Instagram and taken pictures, like selfies, and posted it in the Reddit thread. And they were like, she seems so annoying. Oh, she's always correcting him. I'm like, I'm correcting him because he's giving wrong information about a pen. But like at the time, I had a total breakdown. At the time, I was like bawling. I was like, that's it. I'm done with this. And now it's just so funny. I'm like, it's like really. And a couple years ago, Stephen had gotten. Sorry, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm referring to Stephen. He's my ex-husband, S. Barry Brown. But the funny thing is, he had gotten a comment from a another Dutch man who wrote this comment in Dutch, but basically was it was a racist, and he was like, "Oh, you only married this." I don't want to say this, but I'm quoting his words, a half N word, because you could not get someone of your own race. And it's like, at the time, at first, my instinct was to be really upset. And then I was like, okay, first of all, I am pure 100% West Indian. So if you're gonna be a racist, be accurate about it. And so I've developed a thick skin, um, which has probably been one of the best lessons I have taken away from being a public face.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my question. How about you?
I traveled along the same path.
Yeah.
I still care too much about
Yeah.
what people think of me when I think highly of them.
Yeah.
And I still try too hard in social situations. I still replay every conversation and realize, my God, dude, you were such a tool bag. Like, God, why did you say that?
Oh,
Because I try too hard.
Yeah.
I so desperately want people to like me. But when I don't know them and they don't know me, I don't care. Like at first, like you
Yeah.
said, first couple comments were a little hurtful, but then I realized that they always either fell into two categories. A, they were right, and I did
Yeah.
say something dumb or wrong, or I
Yeah.
looked stupid in that one instance. I'm like, yeah, actually, that was pretty annoying. Like, I watched it. That was an annoying thing to say. Or like, yeah, I was interrupting a lot. Like, truthful. So they're either true or they're just completely wrong. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I can't be offended by that because it's just not true. So I'm like, all right, that guy doesn't know me, and what they said
Yeah.
is not true. So
It's like,
whatever.
if you're going to insult me and criticize me, be accurate. Like, be accurate.
Like,
about it.
and I
Be
can agree with
correct.
that. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. My hair did look
Yeah.
stupid that day. All right, whatever. Or I'm like, actually, no,
Your
I had a great hair day that
hair?
day. So. No, they never said anything about my hair. I'm
Okay,
just picking a.
I hope not, because
No, but I have,
yeah.
I don't have that. I don't have that many left. You can't be criticizing it too much. I still have more hair than my dad did it for me. So.
Well, it's okay because I have a lot of gray hair. It's all in.
Oh gosh.
Nobody wants to see my gray hair. It does not matter. I have enough hair for both of us.
Yes, you do.
I will give you some. That might be
Thank
weird.
you. Thank you. No, I'll do it. I'll shave everything so I just have your hair, so it doesn't look weird. Then it'll look totally normal.
The imagery.
Just like I'm pale to the point where I'm pink with that like dark, voluminous hair. That would look not weird at all.
Some people pay for that kind of stuff. I mean, people do interesting things.
Are you telling me that I'd have to pay for it?
Well, no, okay. But some people do.
Okay, I would get it for free.
You would get it for free, yeah, absolutely. Like, there's so
Excellent.
much.
All right,
good. I would donate it.
But could I put it on my face instead? Like, do I have that option?
Like really long, like flowing eyebrows that like flow down the side.
I like that. I was thinking like a
mustache that's like
the Fu Manchu, like from Kill Bill.
I gotta show you guys this. I did this today. I was on FaceTime with Eric, Mr. Eric Orozco, and I did the. Okay, my mic is in there, but sorry, my cable. But I did this, and I was like, check out my beard, and I was like, isn't it beautiful? And he was like, absolutely not. No, it's not. So
I think it is.
Thank
I think it's
you.
very different. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We need to Photoshop Aziz's hair on Drew's head. Next time I see Drew, if he will let me, I will drape my hair upon him. And
You're not done.
there you go. Well, and then we could sell that for charity. Sell those photos
100%.
for charities. I think that's a good idea. You have a question. Was that a Bic crystal pen?
Yeah. No, it's a Bic round stick, 74% recycled. I've been using these for like I use these for like templates and stuff for like, the thing that goes over the thing, because they can write on foam.
Are you not? Oh, they can write on foam. Okay. What about pencils?
Can't really write on foam. And a lot of the times, well, actually, yes, I have some Ticonderoga here, and then I also have some fancy Palomino black wings that my friend Aziza gave me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know how to use pencils. I just like the smell of them when you sharpen them.
That sounds like something my wife would say. You know what smell my wife really loves? Office supply stores.
Are you telling me you do not like that?
I mean, they're fine, but she walks into a Staples, she's like, yes.
What?
I don't know. They're all right, but
I feel like I'm the brown version of your wife in a way, because
we have there are definitely similarities.
It's like I require attention, pay attention to
there are a striking number of similarities.
And it's just like, John says Ticonderoga scented cologne. I mean, who doesn't like an office supply store? But Drew, you prefer breakfast places.
I do like food smells. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I mean, the smell of new electronics, no, that doesn't do anything for me. I'm sorry.
No.
In fact, I actually really don't like the smell of electronics. I find it very acrid. The wood section of Home Depot, absolutely. I mean, these are all good things. My hair is
if I could have like a corned beef hash scented candle, I'd be all over that.
Okay.
You're too far north to know what like.
Oh no!
Do you know what corned beef hash is?
I know what corned beef hash is. That is so delicious. Okay. I would
out of the can.
I do not like to cook. I can. I just don't care to, because I get bored really quickly. Also, I don't plan properly, and I don't notice I'm hungry until like 4 hours after I should have eaten a meal. But
for my wife. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Why is somebody else not telling me when I need to eat? Because
oh my god!
Because it's boring.
Terrible. Y'all are terrible.
That's boring. But it's boring. It's okay. So one of my questions for you, speaking of food, your ideal breakfast meal? But you said corned beef hash.
Corned beef hash is something I have been increasingly into, because it's acquiring the canned corned beef hash at diners is seemingly fewer and further between than it used to be. So
yeah, because now they're like making real corned beef.
Yeah, which is fine, but sometimes I just want the canned.
Yeah, but sometimes you want the gross version. Sometimes you want the canned, shove it in there version.
My favorite breakfast places are places that offer pancakes as a bread option. So like you get your meal and they're like, would you like toast, biscuits, or pancakes? I'm like, that's how it should be. Toast, biscuits, or pancakes. I'm like, well,
oh my gosh.
I will have pancakes always.
It's like, thank you, but you prefer waffles to pancakes.
I do. Well, okay. I have a waffles and pancakes symposium here if you have a moment.
Absolutely.
Waffles and pancakes are like cake and pie, right? So here we have cake and waffles are pretty much always pretty good.
Yeah.
Waffles and pie are pretty much always good.
That is true.
If you like, a waffle is always good. There's never really like, oh, this waffle is cooked poorly, I can't eat it. Like, no, it's a freaking waffle. You're good. You can have one in a hotel.
Put more syrup on it.
And Eggo is fine. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Same thing with pie. Grocery store pie, solid. Homemade grandma pie of Thanksgiving, solid.
Yep.
They're stable. They're predictable. We love them.
Yes.
Cake and pancakes, however, have a higher peak but a lower trough, meaning they can peak higher when done properly. The ultimate pancake is superior than to the ultimate waffle, but the worst pancake is far worse than the worst waffle, and the same goes for cake. A delicious, immaculate cake is just heaven, but a crappy cake, inedible. Just like a pie, like pies are usually always edible. Like, it's a little floppy, but it tastes fine. Cake can be inedible.
It can be. It can be.
That's my thing. I feel like waffles and cake and pie and whatever. That's my thing.
Okay. Recently, you posted a story about your chicken salad, and you didn't want to eat it because it wasn't great.
Oh,
but
so
you were
oniony.
torn because you had paid for the chicken.
I ruined that. Yeah.
But did you eat it?
Of course, I did.
Did you?
I left like one little plop. I added so much cayenne to it to kind of just like hide everything.
Okay.
I basically turned it red.
That makes me laugh. That when you posted that made me laugh so hard because I told you the story. I think I replied to you in the DM, and basically what I did, my mom was visiting. She cooked amazing like grilled salmon, and I put it in the fridge because there were leftovers, and I forgot about it for 2 weeks. Now, it turns out I was very young. I was like 21 at the time. And I thought, it's been in the fridge. Surely it's fine. So I get it out and I heated it up, and it was so fishy that I kid you not, I had to squeeze 2 lemons on it to survive the intensity. And the next day, not surprisingly, I was violently ill. And so I was telling my girlfriend about this, and she's like, sweet Z. She calls me Zizi. She's like, sweet Zizi, what the actual is wrong with you? She's like, are you stupid? It's like, it was so red.
No, I guess so.
You had to squeeze so many lemons on it to get it down. And I was like, I thought that was normal when you have salmon that's been sitting in the fridge for 2 weeks and then you heat it up. So
salmon's not a super fishy fish.
it should, but it's rancid.
It should be, yeah.
So I learned my lesson. It definitely turned me off salmon for many years. But I still have the same thing that I'm like, if I paid for it, even if it's disgusting, I'm going to eat it. And I'm going to hate every second of it, but I will eat it. But you can't go wrong. I mean, it's really hard to go wrong with waffles and pancakes. And even if it's just like waffle batter, when you go to a hotel, like at a pen show, and they have the waffle batter in the little pump, and you just get a cup of it and you just drink it because it's delicious. And then people at the table with you watch. You were at the table when I did this.
Wait, did you say you just drank pancake batter?
It was the waffle batter. It was at the Baltimore Pen Show. You had made waffles.
I know what you're talking about.
Made waffles. So I had a little cup of it, and I was like, this is delicious. So I was like sipping at it. It was really fizzy, I guess because it's the baking soda or baking powder in it. Anyway, it makes you feel really sick, but it's delicious at the time. So anyway, I'm a really very good adult. I do like raw flour. Maria, here, let me just. I love raw flour. Anyway, I'm a weird child. Waffle shots, yes! Waffle shots.
Oh my god. I will say Baltimore has solid breakfast.
It was good. It was good food.
They have solid breakfast. And that pancake batter is golden malted waffle batter. I bought a bag one time after I bought my Mickey waffle maker because I heard that malted was what they had at Disney World, and when I had the exact same Mickey waffles as they have the thing. And it was fine. I couldn't really tell the difference. So now I just buy a giant bag from Costco.
See, the Crusties?
We always need to have pancake batter.
Buttermilk pancake mix?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh, okay, see, now I want breakfast right now.
Always. We don't call it Crusties though, because when I first got together with my wife, we were shopping together. This is probably like 2005 or something, and we were at the grocery store. She's like, "Grab that one, the Crustiers," I'm like, the what? She's like, the Crustiaz.
The
I was
what?
like, that says crusties, honey. And
It's
she's like,
like, you're
oh
very
yeah,
pretty, but I'm not sure about this anymore.
Crustiaz. So now
Oh my
we
God.
just jokingly call it Crustiaz. Yeah.
Sorry, I laughed so hard that I actually choked myself.
Nice. That's how
It's
you
very
know it's
sexy.
working.
That's how you know it's working. It is very much a thing that only cool people do.
Yes.
I don't. You might have to go back at some point and look at this chat because it is hysterical. I am having I'm thoroughly enjoying you, and I'm also thoroughly enjoying this chat. Yes,
Oh,
Motown
I see Dustin dropped in a banana duck, so all is right in the
Like,
world.
this
So
is so good. Oh yes, a
of
banana
course.
duck. Like, this is so good. This is just so good. Okay, here
And we've got some classy people here.
we got classy people.
Classy people.
I mean, it's
Classy-
not
oh,
it's not me.
Aiden's up in here. What's up, Aiden?
It's not me. That's not.
Let's see. And T-Hog's dropping in. Classic
Hodgepodge.
T-Hog.
I called
Oh,
him
yeah.
Hodgepodge today.
Or-
Okonomiyaki in a waffle maker is legit.
I don't know what okonomiyaki is.
I don't know either. I'm gonna have to go look it up. Okonomiyaki.
But yes, I am playing Pen and Sword. I am playing a game right now. I actually bought a WWE game. I'm playing a wrestling game right now. Former coworker knew that I used to be into wrestling, like in the late '90s, early 2000s. So he's still into wrestling. So for a long time, he would just come up to me, at Goulet and be like, "Hey, this thing happened with that guy." I'm like, "Oh, really? He's still doing stuff? Okay, well." And of course, apparently Instagram just heard it every time he would mention it. So it started serving me up some stuff, and then I just kind of fell back into it. I'm like, oh, yeah, wrestling's actually kind of cool again. I don't know. So I kind of started paying attention to it again, and
Wait,
I always
you bought
loved
a
the old
video
wrestling
game?
games. Pretty big. Yeah. WWE 2K24.
What do you do in a wrestling game?
I'm glad you asked, Aziza. First of all, it has a very in-depth creator wrestler, which is what I always used to love. You can create their theme music, their entrance, and their costumes. But me and my friends used to always create each other, and we would anyway. But it's actually pretty cool. I don't know. Back then, Luke, Sting. Back in the late '90s, I liked WCW Sting.
This is so fascinating.
In this game, though, Aziza, it's actually pretty cool. You've heard of WrestleMania, right?
Yes.
So that's the big
annual.
With that. That's the big annual event. In the game, there's this mode. I mean, you can play other random modes too. It's super in depth and kind of confusing. But there's this WrestleMania mode where you go and you play as these two characters who had a historic match at the WrestleMania back in the '80s or the late '90s or the early 2000s, or whatever. And it shows kind of like the storyline that these two guys had at the time, and you do your wrestling, but you have these objectives to complete during the match that actually happened in the real life match. And then when you do them, it cuts back to the video of the actual match, and it tells about the history about like why this happened, and this was the first time a ladder was ever used, and then it cuts back. So you play.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then so you play a little bit, but then you complete another objective and it switches back to the video. So it's like you're kind of like playing a historical moment, I guess. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. But there's enough references to like old wrestling that I still get it. It's still a bunch of people I don't know, but yeah.
I'm totally fascinated by this because one of my questions was what is your favorite video game? Because I know you have a beautiful Nintendo display of ephemera and bits and stuff. But I'm like, what's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wow, you didn't even hesitate. You already knew.
Well, if you go to my Instagram, you will find both a bulleted out, story highlight of my top 15 favorite video games and my top 20 favorite movies. So I have actually compiled these lists pretty recently, so they're fresh in my brain.
Oh, they're okay. That looks like a scary game.
It's a cowboy game.
that seems scary. I like things where I collect like apples and I feed my horse.
You can
And
feed your horse in Red
yeah.
Dead Redemption 2. You
Oh
can give him
no.
corn or fruit. Yeah.
What is an
So
8-bit Hogtown?
8-bit, that would be Nintendo.
Okay, okay.
Um, so Nintendo T-Hog, we're probably gonna go with Mega Man 2.
Okay, I know what Mega Man is, at
Yeah,
least.
there you go.
And then he
Mega Man 2.
says 16-bit.
That's the one I can. 16-bit. We're gonna go with Chrono Trigger, with Donkey Kong Country coming in a close second.
I am really afraid of primates, so Donkey Kong really freaks me out.
They're so strong.
Yeah, they're terrifying. Okay,
They are.
there is a primate story. I'm sorry, I know we're at an hour, and I didn't want to keep you forever, but I have to tell you this.
I know. I need to hear this. I'm not gonna let you go.
There is a chimpanzee. Unfortunately, he was killed in the incident. A woman and her husband, they had a lot of money. They were somewhere in the mid-east US, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm very bad at geography and time zones. Like Wisconsin over there. Anyway, they bought a chimpanzee baby, and this was like 40 years ago, and they raised him from a baby. They took it was taken from his Travis the chimp.
About the finger.
That is one of the many things he did.
Okay. Keep on going. Keep on going.
I fear there are multiple chimps. He basically would sleep in their bed. He would eat ice cream. He had a closet with clothing. And shut up, Lord Hibachi. Somewhere over there, okay? But in the end, he reached sexual maturity, as chimps do. And he had, I mean, they're so strong that he just could not survive his suburban life and not having chimpanzee enrichment. And so he actually attacked his owner's friend and like ate her face off and ripped her hands off. She survived. The chimp was shot. It's very tragic. And one of the many things that makes me advocate for not having exotic pets as pets or anything like that. But it was so sad, but it's terrifying. It's terrifying because this chimp was like 200 pounds. That's a big chimp.
They're insanely strong.
And they're strong. Like they're stronger than
what
a 200-pound man would be or a 200-pound woman would be.
Absolutely.
Or a 200-pound human would be. Like, whatever. They're strong. And so, terrible, terrifying things happen. Yes, Hogtown enrichment. I'm laughing because he didn't have friends. Chimpanzee.
That we've come full circle. We've come full circle talking about how important relationships are
and how important
friendships. Yes,
it's 200 pounds of muscle and rage. I am pretty much 200 pounds of muscle and rage.
Yeah, we know that. Or
that. Mostly just the rage aspect. We're gonna have to save this for another time, Drew. I'm gonna have to have you back because my first question on my list was, what emotion do you struggle with the most? And I already had an answer, and mine is anger, because it's exhausting and confusing, because I actually am not somebody who's angry. I love everybody until they hurt my feelings or hurt the feelings of someone I love. And it's like, it's really confusing, but anger is my thing. And that's what I'm a chimp. This is why I hate chimps. So it's because I'm a chimp, not a
chimp. You're a bird. We know this.
I'm possibly a bird. We have to discuss this still. So it's like hamsters are classified as exotic.
No, I've seen you with very effective bird plumage.
True. That's true. Yeah, I do the thing, and
I think as the pen show goes on, your plumage becomes more and more grandiose.
Yes, it's true, because at the beginning it starts so nice, and I'm like, oh, I can do my hair all nice and be elegant. And then at the end of the day or the weekend of a pen show, I'm like, that's it. There's too much hair. I cannot deal with this. It's it's all over my paper, and when I do workshops, it rubs on my like students' pages and smears everywhere, and they're like, your hair got everywhere. So anyway.
Oh, Samar's chiming in with the bird calls.
Oh, caw! Obviously, I mean, who does
Nice,
it?
Sam.
And it's thanks, Sam. But I also, yeah, you know. But you got to come back and look at this chat because it's hysterical.
I will.
Listen, it's Friday night. This was absolutely delightful.
It absolutely was. My face hurts. That's how you know how that I've been smiling a lot. Like
Wonderful.
I'm in pain.
You know, I get that a lot when people hang out with me. They're like, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
But in a great way, possibly. And chat, thank you so much. This was fantastic. And there's a whole bunch of you that are going to be on Gourmet Pens and Friends. And it's just so lovely. So I'm so grateful. This has set me up for such a fantastic weekend. And
Agreed.
Drew, I hope for you too. And please thank Shannon for allowing this insanity to happen.
Shannon, thank you.
She's waiting
for what?
Yeah, for what? Well, yeah, you know, whatever. We're just trying to be appreciative of each other.
I'm sure she's watching some crime documentary in there.
Okay, I know I said this already, but I just want to say right before this, I was watching a murder trial.
Oh my god!
And I gotta come visit you because I need to meet Shannon. I need to be like, Shannon, I feel like I'm the brown version of you.
I don't know if I can handle that.
Probably not. But I think I need this.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Selfish. Thank you so much, everybody. This was so awesome. You can convince Drew to come back. And
don't need any convincing
because it's just so fun. And
please, as much as possible.
If you have questions, like we could always do questions and stuff.
Yeah.
But the whole thing of this is let's just spread love and find wonder.
Yeah, 100%.
And banana duck.
Love you too, Dustin.
That's questionable because ducks are very.
Are they a scary animal too?
No, but they're very. The boy ducks.
I know.
Like to do things too.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
you already. I've seen it happen.
You had an ending so well, talking about love and patience and kindness. That you got to go and talk about duck parts.
I saw the banana and the duck, and now I'm deeply traumatized. So ducks are terrifying. Thank you so much, Drew. We all love you. We all love you, and I hope you feel it. And thank you for seeing wonder in us. And
I do.
I hope that we all help you feel the wonder that you are. So good night, everybody. Take care. Have a lovely weekend. I know. It's uncomfortable, isn't it? Bye. Okay, we have to wait like 5 seconds. And the reason I say that is because the stream has got a bit of a lag.